that person, that being, your divine complement is yours and yours alone. So show up. Claim them. If you've already claim them more. Show up again. That is your person. It's no one else's person. Claim them. Claim them.
Yeah. If Jeff had a girlfriend and I knew that he was my twin flame, like unequivocally knew he was my twin flame, it wouldn't stop me. And I'm definitely not that person or what, that would, I'm not like a home wrecker. But this is different when it's your twin flame, because you're with my man.
They're the home wrecker.
They're the home wrecker, it's not me. It doesn't matter if they're engaged, if they're married, if they have children or a business together, it doesn't matter.
God will sort that out.
God will sort that out. But that's
your job is to choose your ultimate
twin.
Lover
and
claim them.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're coming back. I appreciate your support. My name is Erin and I am fascinated by all things cult, true crime, and unique spiritual practices. On Tuesdays, I explore a true crime case, and on Saturdays or Sundays, I talk about a cult or extreme religion that I find interesting or needs a little more exposure. On Thursdays, I also like to drop a little bonus video for you of my choosing. It could be covering a scam or me sharing a story or perhaps an interview. So if you like content like this, please subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you here. I'm also looking to sponsor single parents this holiday season. So if you are one, or you have one in your family, or you know a friend, please create an Amazon wish list and email it to me with a little bit about yourself so I can get to know you a little bit better. I would love to share your Amazon wish list in one of my videos next month. I was raised by a single mother, and I know how difficult this time of year can be. So if you need supplies for your home or gifts for your kids, and you just need a little extra financial support this year, please email me with your Amazon wish list. I would love to try to give back, and I'm sure my viewers would like to give back as well. Whoa, guys. Okay, so the Twin Flames universe story keeps getting wilder and wilder. And like I'm sure you saw in the intro, it kind of seems like toxicity is almost promoted within the group. And that was one of my biggest takeaways from the documentaries was, wow, they really want people to go after their twin flame, no matter what, no matter if they're married, in relationships, have restraining orders on them. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper, and I snuck my way back into the group like you do, and found a lot of concerning posts in that group. But I also went on a journey down an internet rabbit hole, and I found complaints about this group as far as 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So that's where we're going to start. This is an anonymous Reddit post I found that was posted 5 years ago. This is a warning for all. Beware Twin Flames universe, Jeff and Shaleia cult abuse survivors warning. This comment is based on my experiences with Jeff and Shaleia after spending nearly a year in their community. The purpose of this thread is for survivors to share their stories, support each other, and warn others about the abuses going on within the Twin Flames universe community. I have seen them belittle and name-call students who disagree with their teachings. This is justified as meeting the students where they live, i.e. in hell, to help them grow. The offenses which warrant this behavior can range from a student spreading negativity warranted to a student claiming to know a twin flame in harmonious union outside of the community, unwarranted. So I take that to mean oh yeah, I know a twin flame couple. They found each other, but they've never been in twin flame universe, because Jeff and Shaleia are constantly promoting that their group is the only way to find twin flames unions, So if two people are twin flames and they're not a part of the community, well, then they're not real twin flames. And how dare you imply that twin flames can exist outside of their community? I mean, their business model depends on people leaning on them for guidance to find their twin flame. I've seen them direct students to write 5-star reviews for their book on Amazon and nearly kick out a student who mistakenly left a 4-star review. I've seen them tell students what their true gender identity is and then kick them out when they've failed to conform, like change their name, their pronouns, and their appearance. This is because they teach that all twin flame couples are a masculine and a feminine counterpart and are best glorified in male and female bodies. I have seen students kicked out, shunned, or voluntarily leave because they refuse to change to fit Jeff and Shaleia's template. Again, classic cult behavior. We've talked about this extensively on this channel, so I don't want to exhaust you, but I do have a couple other videos I'll link down below. If you want to understand more about the tactics, you can find them down in the description. I've seen them tell students not to take outside job offers or apply to undergrad or graduate school. When students ask why, they are generally told that it's not what they truly desire. So Jeff and Shaleia are saying that's not what you want, and that they should proceed with outside education or career opportunities. They will be learning the hard way to truly appreciate what they have within Jeff and Shaleia's community. Wow. Again, if it looks like a cult, walks like a cult, acts like a cult, smells like a cult, it's probably a cult. 2 of their students have had restraining orders filed against them by their twin flames. 1 has been to jail for violating the order. Notably, they have announced that they are the second coming of Christ and the king and queen of creation. They have also announced plans to open a commune in Michigan. This was 5 years ago. That just goes to show how long this was going on under the radar. And it's so deeply, deeply concerning. Like, someone emailed me screenshots of their group moving to Michigan, and like there are talks within this city on this forum online on Facebook talking about how this group is coming and they're bringing followers. It's already happening. It's so deeply concerning that that's really the final frontier, I suppose, of cult behavior, is getting you to move to a commune, because then they can really control you and get under your skin and in your mind. And that's when really, really terrible, abusive things can happen. So if you're considering moving to wherever Jeff and Shaleia are in Michigan, please don't do it. Just think about it. Finally, it has recently come to light that the healing method they claim to have invented, which they call the mind alignment process, or MAP, which we are going to be talking about extensively next week. I'm really excited to have a psychotherapist be here to analyze the problems within mind alignment process. So stay tuned for that. So this method was created by Teal Swan. She calls it the completion process, and she published it in August 2016. In the fall of 2016, Jeff and Shaleia announced that Teal Swan is a false spiritual leader who is leading people to hell. Her works are not allowed in their community. In my opinion, Teal Swan's another cult leader, so be cautious if you are following her as well. So that was the one Reddit post, okay? And then a few people, honestly not that many, responded, but I wanted to read some of their responses to you. Now remember, these are people who were in this group and are corroborating the information we saw in the Netflix series that Jeff and Shaleia are now trying to deny in their current open forum. I'm glad to have found this information about Jeff and Shaleia's twin flame universe. I thought for sure I would be joining after seeing the first of 3 classes they offer for free. I felt mostly okay about the second class the first time I watched it. What I did not like about it was that Jeff was pressuring one of the men in the class who thought he had found his twin flame to have his twin flame move into the home of this man. This guy was clearly uncomfortable with having her move into a house full of men due to how they sometimes behaved. I'm assuming like the men. Not only that, but he had just gotten into union with who he believed to be his twin flame. So yeah, that's one thing that I think is a little toxic. They really want you to like rush into your relationship. It's like Jeff assigns you your twin flame, then he's like, go fly out, be with them, move in with them, be together, get married. And it's like this really quickly paced thing. Because when you try to get people to make fast-paced decisions, they aren't able to like pause, reflect, and see the red flags. You know what I mean? So it's very, very intentional because twin flame unions have to occur for more people to buy into Jeff's scheme, you know? It felt inappropriate that Jeff would push for the two of them to live together in that living arrangement right after they thought they discovered they were twin flames. Agreed. During the third class, the nice man that had been pushed by Jeff into having his twin flame move in with him had left the class. That right there was a big eye-opener for me. Jeff spent a good part of that class talking about this. Jeff talked about how this man told him that it was a money situation, but Jeff said it wasn't, as if he knows exactly how much money is in this man's bank account. He mentioned that he would have worked something out with him, but kept saying that that wasn't the real reason. He mentioned also that this man thought he was gay, and Jeff said that he was not, as if he would know better than this man did. Jeff seemed a lot more dictatorial in the third video, so it wouldn't surprise me if he had a tyrannical side to him. Yeah, exactly. Like, to imply that you know more about someone's sexuality or sexual preferences than that person does just because you consider yourself a spiritual guru is not just absurd, but it's another form of abuse. It's another form of him trying to force his control onto somebody else. And that's something I don't think I've done a great job of explaining or exploring is it wasn't just like cis women who are straight that were encouraged to change gender identities. It was also like gay people being told, no, 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 they're actually straight. Like this very toxic environment of Jeff being the one to dictate how you should see yourself. And that is inherently toxic. You know what I mean? So this Redditor continues. Jeff dictated with authority that you have to be friends first, partners next, and then lovers, as if everyone must follow that. No variation of that was allowed. I've become friends on Facebook with some of the people in that class. I noticed that some of those people who Jeff said were close are still single. I think this Redditor means close as in close to finding their twin flame. Again, this is 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So these are the same complaints we're seeing today. Nothing has changed. That tells me that Jeff is very, very intentional with what he's doing, and this is all a part of his grand scheme. I don't know how old the first classes are, but what this said to me loud and clear was that J and S certainly are no better than anyone else at helping people reach harmonious union. I agree. In fact, I can even imagine them taking even longer than others, much less expensive programs, or even none at all, because they turn their students into brainwashed robots and slaves to help Jeff and Shaleia get richer. And they do like flaunt their wealth, Jeff and Shaleia do. So it's really disgusting to see that some people are saying, hey, I can't afford this right now. It's not within my budget. I'm in a difficult place financially. Even now, currently in the group, there are posts that are like, I have like 5 cents in my bank account. How can I find my twin flame without spending money? And those posts are like ignored, or sometimes people are told like, well, you'll find the money if you really wanted to do this. If this was something you really cared about, you would find the money to do. It's like they're shamed into being given the money. And that's unacceptable. As far as that nice guy I mentioned who left the class, I feel like I should thank him for making an intelligent choice to leave. He was the one who made me question Jeff and Shaleia's program and what they're really about. I also thank all of you here for the courage to not only step away from this cult, but also share with other potential students who are having doubts in their experiences. They confirm my suspicions, and I hope others speak out too. Exactly. This is why speaking out is so important, because within any cult, you're discouraged from speaking to anybody else, even other people within the cult. Cults will often have watchdogs. So it's like, yeah, you might not go complain to Jeff and Shaleia, but you might complain to someone in their inner circle. And that person in their inner circle will report to Jeff, and then Jeff will come down on you hard. You know what I mean? He will like kick you out, tell you you're terrible, make you like prove yourself to him again if you go against what he teaches. And some cults even have it just like if you break a rule, you have to call that person out. You have to tell someone superior within the cult, that's how they control behavior. So that mentality makes it really hard for people to want to speak out publicly about it because they're so fearful of what could happen. They're afraid they'll get shunned. They're afraid in some cults they'll get stalked, harassed. They're afraid they'll be just like talked down to or talked terribly about. They're afraid their reputations will be destroyed. And so it's like, this is the mentality that keeps people in cults longer than they want to be because they're so afraid to leave and they're afraid to speak out and protect other people because if they speak out, they get shunned or worse happens. So this is another Redditor. I got back in touch with my twin in May and went looking for answers. I found Jeff and Shaleia. I thought they were obnoxious, but I also felt like I was getting some answers. I joined their group and was promptly kicked out for starting drama. And honestly, starting drama in a cult could be like you asked the wrong questions to the leader. You know what I mean? And 5 years ago, the group was likely significantly smaller than it is now. I think the group has over 30,000 members in it. So I just can't help but wonder if like he or she had publicly said in the group or publicly asked a question and Jeff got mad at it because it poked holes in Jeff's theories. So he was kicked out for starting drama. They told me I couldn't come back until I bought their classes. So I signed up. I paid over $300 for the classes when I couldn't even pay my rent because I thought it was the only way to union. When my kids and I became homeless, I chose to cancel my membership with the thought that it would be temporary. Except that afterwards, everyone who had previously been supportive wouldn't talk to me. I was afraid to even post in the group. When my friend told me what was going on, I left the group immediately. I'd been having doubts about them already, and everyone said it was just a block to receiving love. That's exactly right. When you start voicing your concerns, then it's your fault. Oh, you're feeling resistant to our teachings? That must mean something is unhealed within you. You should probably do more of our courses and spend more money and get in even deeper. The classes didn't benefit me at all and were just annoying. I feel like I wasted all of that money on people who didn't care about me as much as they did their fancy cars and big house. Yep. Now this one is really tragic and it feels very predatory. This Redditor commented, "My niece got suckered into this cult. She has quit her job. They assigned a gender identity on her. I fear for her, and she has ADHD and is very, very emotionally vulnerable." See, I've had a couple people comment, like, I have no idea how people can get sucked into these cults. I have no idea how people fall for it. They're not falling for it. People are all born into this world with a different set of circumstances, and people day to day are dealing with a different sets of vulnerabilities. All that could make them succumb to the teachings of a cult, especially if you think the answer to your sadness, your pain, your discomfort is finding your twin flame. I'll link another video down below, the top 10 signs you're in a cult and the tactics used to get people sucked into a cult. They're very beneficial, especially if you don't fully understand the way people get sucked into cults. And that's a big intention of my channel, is to help more people within the general public to understand how easy it is to get sucked into a group like this. So please, when you're commenting down below, please be kind and understanding and gentle with whatever you feel like you want to share. They blocked me. This one's funny. Okay, we're gonna laugh a little bit because we're getting a little serious. We're gonna giggle for a second. They blocked me from their Facebook page because of a disagreement over my comment on their Halloween costumes of Harry Potter characters, Harry and Hermione. They strongly believe that Harry and Hermione are true twin flames. As a Ron and Hermione ship canon fan, I question their beliefs of what a true twin flame were on them. Instead of answering my question, they went against me by telling me that I am wrong and have no clue of a true twin flame journey. They acted like they were above me. I thought it was so ridiculous of them to argue with me about fictional characters. I mean, yeah, that's honestly pathetic and sad that they would get so up in arms. We're going as Harry and Hermione for Halloween because fuck Ron. Harry is Hermione's twin flame. Harry is Hermione's twin flame. J.K. Rowling got it wrong. So now we are going to move a few years down the lane, right? Down the lane, down the road. So what I just shared was from 5 years ago. I believe this next article was in 2021 or 2022, I believe. So just a couple years ago. This was a New York Times article, and I'm not going to read all of it. You can go find it if you'd like. The title of it is "My Twin Flame Obsessed Ex Stalked Me on Vacation in Europe." And this is someone that was interviewed in a new podcast. The podcast is called Twin Flames, if you want to go check it out. I feel like this was outlined in the Netflix documentary, but it might not be the same person because it sounds like this is something they constantly promote, like stalking whoever you think your twin flame is. They're like, "No, this is a divine union. You must be with this person. You must be with them no matter the cost, no matter if you go to jail, no matter if they're married, no matter what." It's crazy. So it starts out, when William met Katie at Burning Man in the summer of 2012, sparks flew. They dated for a time afterward, but eventually William ended it, and then things spun out of control. Katie, not her real name, wouldn't accept that their relationship was over. William claimed that she sent threatening messages, relentlessly called, and seemed to show up wherever he was, at clubs, at home, and even in a European city where he was vacationing. William eventually got a restraining order, and after Katie repeatedly violated it, she was arrested. Still, she persisted. "She was trying to call me from jail," William said on the podcast Twin Flames, out now from Wondery. Not even sending her to jail gave her the hint. Bail for Katie was set at $150,000, and she was charged with 17 counts related to harassing, stalking, and violating the restraining order, according to the podcast. But a few weeks after she got out on bail, she returned to her Twin Flames classes. In a recording of the class that is played on the podcast, Jeff tells her, "You are courageous. You've been to jail for harassing and stalking someone and violating a restraining order. If someone blocks you, has a restraining order against you, they do not want to contact you." Jeff and Shaleia train that if your twin flame is blocking you or wants nothing to do with you, it means that there's a part of themselves that is unhealed. And since you and your twin flame are a reflection of each other, you're connected to each other, that means that you need to do a lot of extra inner work and inner healing, because when you heal yourself, you heal your twin flame. And if you heal your twin flame, they will want to be with you. No, if your twin flame or anyone blocks you, tells you they do not want to see you anymore, has a restraining order against you, guess what? They are not interested. If anyone, it shouldn't even have to go that far. If someone tells you no, leave it alone. Listen to the boundaries that other people have. That's what I mean when I think that this group cultivates toxic relationships. They say that you need to pursue your twin flame no matter the cost, no matter the repercussion. This woman had a $150,000 bail set on her, and she still tried to contact him because of her cult indoctrination. This group, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. So we're going to take a slight left turn and just explore one of the problematic posts that I've recently found within the current Twin Flames organization. This was posted, I believe, a night or two ago. This person says, "So the other night, I went out to a local bar for some relaxation after a tiring day. While there, I struck up a conversation with a guy. We only spoke for about 5 minutes, but there was something about him that caught my attention. Eventually, I decided to call it a night and hailed a cab to take me back home. As I arrived at my apartment, I realized I had the munchies, so I decided to make a quick stop at the nearby shop. I grabbed a bag of crisps and some mini cheddars, thinking they would be perfect for a late night snack. Little did I know, my night was about to take an unexpected turn. Just as I settled into my apartment, I heard a sudden banging on my front door. To my surprise, it was the same guy from the bar. I couldn't believe he'd managed to find me. Feeling a bit uneasy, I quickly closed the blinds and retreated to the safety of my living room. But it didn't end there. It turned out that he was going around banging on every door in my apartment block. Apparently, I had been receiving complaints from my neighbors about this guy, which only added to this strange and unsettling situation. Time seemed to stretch on as the banging persisted for what felt like an eternity. 2 hours went by, and he was still there, refusing to leave. I couldn't help but wonder what was going on and why he was so fixated on my apartment block. In the midst of the chaos, I couldn't help but question the nature of our encounter. Was this guy my twin flame? That inexplicable connection that people talk about? The whole situation left me feeling confused and uncertain about what it all meant. Eventually, the banging ceased and the stranger disappeared into the night, leaving behind a sense of relief mixed with lingering curiosity. I couldn't help but reflect on the events that had unfolded and the impact they had had on me. Whether it was a chance encounter or something more, it reminded me of the unpredictability of life and the mysteries that can arise even from the most fleeting interactions. This is so dangerous. And as someone who also makes true crime content, thinking that someone that is stalking you is so deeply in love with you that they might be your twin flame, and you're constantly taught in this twin flames cult that your union might be difficult, and if you think someone is your twin flame, it's an inexplicable feeling, and she's like, oh, maybe he's my twin flame, or maybe he's obsessed with me and that means he's my twin flame. No, he could have literally murdered this young woman. He knows where she lives now. Instead of her thinking, well, wow, maybe he's in love with me, he might be dangerous. He could be a dangerous person. You need to be careful. This is partly why teachings like this are so, so dangerous, because when you stop listening to your intuition, when it is telling you that something is off, it turns off other impulses in your mind, in your body. You stop listening to the voice that's like, alarm, alarm, red flag, this is wrong, this is bad, you need to get out of this situation. Instead, she's willing to potentially dive further into it or seek this creep out again. He just stalked you and followed you home. He knows where you live. He banged on multiple apartment doors. Doesn't that seem a little unhinged to you? But thanks to Jeff and Shaleya's teachings, this woman is like, well, maybe he is my twin flame. Maybe he loves me. No. Your twin flame, the person you love, would not do that. There are people posting in the forum asking what to do about their twin flame who has blocked them and they don't reach out ever and they're getting married the next day. What should they do? And the advice that they're given by like top contributors in the group are, I would just keep following them with the burner account. You never stop trying to follow your twin flame and get them to be with you. That is creepy, manipulative, strange behavior. And that is one of the things that I think is so problematic about this group, is because it really is teaching people to become the perpetrator. And we've talked about this before. There's a fine line between being a victim of a cult and a perpetrator. We saw it in Nexium, right, with Allison Mack. She was a victim of they're pretty similar, Keith Raniere's indoctrination. He got her, though, to do things to other people that she went to jail for. She became the perpetrator because he was indoctrinating her so deeply that she was unable to tell right from wrong anymore. She no longer had a true choice. She had what's called the illusion of choice, where there's option A and option B. And the cult leader wants you to do option A and presents option B as having some big consequence. Well, you could do this and be in good standings with me, the cult leader, or you could do option B, but I'm not going to help save you. I'm not going to let you come back to class. And then you think, oh, well, it's almost like you're given an ultimatum and you don't recognize that it's an ultimatum. So this indoctrination is making people believe that, oh, well, Jeff says that I need to pursue my twin flame, no questions asked, and I just have a crush on this person. I think they're my twin flame. I mean, come on. Like, feelings are so complicated, especially the feelings of like loving another person. You know, it feels different when you're infatuated with someone versus when you're kind of lusting after someone versus you're like, oh my God, I like love this person. It's like all this spectrum. And I think that this group is teaching you that, like, you have a little spark with someone, and because you have a spark with them, that means they're your twin flame. And even if they want absolutely nothing to do with you, that you need to pursue them at all costs. It's dangerous. It's toxic. And no matter what, I can't stress this enough. If the person that you are with is behaving that way, or harming you in any way, or abusing you emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, it doesn't matter if someone else tells you they're your twin flame, you have to get out. And this is the dynamic that I am fearful of. People are making huge life-altering changes, not just to themselves, their bodies, to their relationships they have with other people, to quitting jobs, to moving to be with their twin flame because Jeff told them that that's their twin flame. It's dangerous. And we have to talk about it more. And I know this is like my fourth twin flames video, but it's because it's something I feel like we are not talking about enough, and we need to talk about it more. And so please, if you want to come forward and share your story, please remember to email me. If you want to share in the comments, please share. If you have someone that you're concerned about who's in not just this cult, but another problematic group, share with them some of this content. Hopefully it will help them. That's my intention with this channel. I want to help people see the light and get out. And I also want to help people who judge victims of cults to recognize that these aren't stupid people falling into a cult. They're people that are vulnerable and just have a challenge set in front of them, and they're finding Jeff and Shaleia at the right time or the wrong time, and Jeff and Shaleia are presenting them with a solution, and they're believing in that solution. And the longer they're in it, the more all of a sudden they've spent tons of money, they've seen glimmers of hope, they've seen tons of testimonials, and they believe it. So please use discernment, please use caution, and stay away from toxic groups like this. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know I got a little impassioned in this video, but I am very passionate about sharing this information, and this is my way of helping people. And so I hope that's resonating, and I hope that's coming through. I know I can sometimes get sassy and impassioned, and I never want it to be misunderstood or misinterpreted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I really appreciate all your support. Remember, if you are a single parent or you know someone who is, please email me your Amazon wish list and a little bit about yourself to erinfinley@gmail.com. And I will be back on Tuesday with a true crime video. Sometimes I get really overwhelmed by true crime, and I'm like, I cannot talk about this every single day all the time. And now I'm kind of in the opposite, where I'm like, okay, I need a break from Jeff and Shaleia because it's hurting my soul. And I'm sure it's fascinating, and I want to help people, but it is very draining because I just can't help but think of all of the victims that are still in the group. So I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there. Ask questions and listen to your gut. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.